Hey everyone, now that it's near the end of 2023, I'm going to be doing top 5 albums I listened to this year. So this is my top albums of 2023. I don't really listen to new music that comes out. That's pretty evident based off this channel and the videos I post. So I'm going to be doing top 5 albums I listened to this year, and we'll also be going over some honorable mentions and a quick lightning round. We're going to go straight into it right now. So starting off with the honorable mentions, I have JOECHILLWORLD by DeVon Hendryx. While I know some people could say it's kind of amateurish and stuff, I find the stories that JPEG Mafia is writing on here to be very engaging. I like his lyrical style, despite being amateurish at some point, and it's just a really captivating album from start to finish that feels out there but also pretty grounded. Next, I have Parannoul's To See the Next Part of the Dream. This almost made my list. To See the Next Part of the Dream is an incredibly emotional, cathartic, even if you don't understand Korean, like I don't. It's heartbreaking to listen to, and every single song hits. There's no like slower tracks. They always keep up the same energy, and it's just an amazing listen from start to finish. Next, I have Bladee and Echo 2K's Crest. Crest is just a really fun album, man. Bladee and Echo 2K, I know they explore like a lot of spiritual stuff on the album, but really it's just fun. Start to finish, every single track has just so much energy. It feels so playful, and you just can't help but crack a smile when you listen to it, and I just love the album for that. Next, I have Nurture by Porter Robinson. Nurture is one of the first, I guess, electronic albums that really clicked for me, and it just felt so heartfelt on almost every single song, and it was so comforting, and it's a really amazing album. I personally enjoy the slower songs on it, but overall it's just fantastic. Next, I have Elliott Smith's New Moon. I don't really have much to say. It's Elliott Smith. I love Elliott Smith. I've just found myself returning to New Moon so much. I think it's just because of how many tracks there are on here, and in my opinion, it's from one of his better eras, that being the Around Either Or and the self-titled, and it's just some of his best songs. My favorite song on here probably being First Timer. Next, I have Yankee Hotel Foxtrot by Wilco. I really enjoyed this album. I think every single track just has the right amount of extra weirdness on top of what would just be a pretty good rock track to keep things interesting, and I love the vocal delivery throughout the entire thing, and it's just an album I found myself coming back to over and over again. Speaking of that, my next album is This It by The Strokes. I have listened to this album so many times. It's a timeless album. It's just fantastic, and The Strokes only were in the business of making hits. Because of that, it made such an amazing timeless album. And my last honorable mention is Echo 2K's E. This also almost made the list. E is an amazing album. Echo explores how he feels isolated and how his drug abuse is affecting himself and those around him in the most ethereal, fucking beautiful way possible. Almost every single track on here is just this amazing ethereal fucking piece of music, dude. I love it to death. But my only song I probably wouldn't like on it is the second to last song, and my favorite is probably either Blue Eyes or Security. So those are my honorable mentions in no particular order. Let's get into my top 5 albums I listened to this year. For number 5, I have a live album, and you can barely call it a live album, but it's technically Car Seat Headrest's Lowfidelity. There's not a lot of details about it, but from what we know, it was recorded very soon after Will moved from his hometown to Seattle. So after How to Leave Town came out, as far as we know, it was played in like a very small bar with very few people there watching it, and there was only like one thing recording it. So like each instrument and the vocals and stuff was not getting picked up separately. It's all just being fed into one mic. So it gives it a very raw sound, which most live albums are usually a bit filtered. So it feels even more raw than that. The only thing that Will has in this performance is himself and his guitar. And holy shit, the track list, phenomenal choices all across the board by Will. And this is just the rawest I've ever heard Will. He sounds like he is putting everything he has. Like he's going to die if he doesn't fucking put everything he has into every single one of these songs. And the lo-fi recording just kind of amplifies the sheer amount of emotion Will has on every single song here. And it's amazing how well Will is able to take these songs that he has, especially something like Crows, that feels very complex, and turn it into something where it's literally just him and his guitar, and it still sounds fantastic. I will admit it can be kind of ear grating depending on your if you fuck with lo-fi or not, but I absolutely love this album. I think it's one of Will's best. I think it's one of Car Seat Headrest's best, and I highly recommend Everybody go check it out. For number 4, I have Room on Fire by The Strokes. Yeah, I like it more than Is This It. They're very similar, and I could see anybody going with either one, but I just prefer Room on Fire. Room on Fire is just so fantastic. It works so well to just bring you back again and again and again. From the first song to the last, The Strokes are just only making hits. They have no interest in making deep cuts. They just want to make hits, and they do that perfectly. I'll admit the songs kind of mesh a bit, but even then, I absolutely love this album every single time I put it on. It comes in, it pulls all the stops, doesn't hold back anything. 30 minutes of just straight amazing rock music. Is it like changing everything? Is it something super crazy you've never heard before? No, probably not. Are you gonna fucking love it when you listen to it and enjoy it? Yeah, probably. It's just a fantastic album, and I've come back to this album so much, and I love it to death. At number 3, I have an album I actually reviewed for this channel, and that is Black Country New Roads, Ants From Up There. Ants From Up There, I had a pretty high expectations going into. That's mainly because it just was so heavily praised when it came out, and I remember seeing it come out and just kind of not listening to it. I listened to Chaos Space Marine, and that was about it. I really love this album. I'm really happy I got to review it for this channel, because if I didn't, I don't know when I would have actually found it, because this album is so fantastic. For me personally, the highlight, even with all the amazing instrumentals, is easily Isaac Wood's voice, and his vocals are just fucking heart-wrenching, dude, and they just seem to get more and more frantic throughout the album. Isaac's going fucking through it, and the instrumentals are there to back him and just make the shit he's saying more fucking powerful, and it all culminates in Basketball Shoes, which is probably one of the best songs I've ever heard. I find it just fucking heartbreaking, and Isaac's vocals just blow me away. I love basically everything about the album. I think it's an amazing album that's super well paced. Even when there is downtime, it feels deserved and like it's needed, and it's just perfect. I love it. For my second favorite album I listened to this year, I have Cap'n Jazz's Burritos, Inspiration Point, Fort Balloon Sports, Cards in the Spokes, Automatic Biographies, Kites, Kung Fu, Trophies, Banana Peels We've Slipped On, and Eggshells We've Tippy-Toed Over, or Shmap'n Schmazz. Shmap'n Schmazz is such a rough album. It's so rough around the edges in almost every single quality, instrumental, vocals, lyrics, but instead of feeling like a drawback, it just feels like an amazing charm. The album just feels so pure. 30 minutes of incredibly emotional and hard-hitting emo, I guess. I think it's like post-hardcore emo. Genres don't really matter because it just feels incredibly energetic, incredibly nostalgic. It's like running through a field and having no fucking worries. It's such a fantastic album. My personal favorite aspect is the vocals. I'm a sucker for when a vocalist sounds like they're fucking screaming their heart out, like they're really putting everything into every single line they're saying. In this album, Shmap'n Schmazz, the lead vocalist does that in every single song. Makes the energy fantastic. I feel like there's no flaws. I think Bluish Grass does stand out in the track list a bit, but from start to finish, it's just this energetic, noisy, amazing piece of music. It just feels so pure, and I love everything about it, and it's my second favorite album I've listened to this year. For my number 1 favorite album of this year, I have Blade's EVERSINCE. Yeah, I know, putting EVERSINCE above everything else, you might be like, really? But yes, EVERSINCE, I have just come to absolutely fucking love in every single way. In my opinion, this is Blade's most well put together album. I think a lot of Blade albums don't really feel like albums. They just feel like he made a lot of songs that kind of have a similar sound and put them together, but he didn't think of like an intro and an outro and maintaining a very similar mood and atmosphere from start to finish. This is the only album I feel like he really did that, and it's perfect. I fucking love every single track. Blade is just isolated. He feels isolated and alone. He's also, the whole album just feels cold. It feels cold, it feels desolate, and Blade's monotone vocals mixed with auto-tune just serves to make the beats that's already sound cold sound even colder. I love the intro, Who Goes There. I think it's a perfect way to lead into the album with a lot of the lyrics kind of relating to what the album's going to be about. And I absolutely love Skin. Skin is one of Blade's best songs. It's a fantastic outro. The fact that the song ends on the line "ever since," I think is just amazing. It's incredibly emotional and sad, but fits the album perfectly as an outro. And Blade just feels super vulnerable on this entire album. And there's something about it where every single track both goes hard, but at the same time, Blade is fucking going through it. And you can hear that in both the beats and the vocals on every single song. And I just absolutely love Ever Since in every single way. So that's my top 5 list of 2023 and my honorable mentions. Feel free to in the comments below put your top top 5 albums you listened to this year, or your top 5 albums of the year, or really anything, feel free to comment whenever you want. I just want to say thank you guys for the incredible year. I've been kind of not the most consistent with videos. It's been maybe I'll be consistent here and there and there. I really want to try to be more consistent. You know, sometimes shit happens. Thank you all for sticking with the channel. It amazes me that this channel has gotten 2,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate it. I want to continue doing this for as long as I can because I do love making these videos. But thank you so much. The support means everything to me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the year. Merry Christmas, Merry whatever holiday you celebrate, and yep, goodbye.